Looks like you're getting the boat ready.
Well, you know, it's like 100 degrees today, which everyone knows is the day that you start getting the boat ready. It's actually several months too early. I mean, it's not even summer yet, but it feels like it.
Yeah, most people start working on their boat right when it gets warm. And then they want like the engine rebuilt in like, I don't know, a week and a half. So they hit the water.
You sound like a man who's rebuilt some boat engines in his day.
The boat people always come in the late spring.
Well, we're a little overdue to work on this boat, I think. It's been here quite a long time. We haven't touched it.
So this, in case you haven't gathered, is a 1971 Sidewinder Jet Boat. Last on the water, 2011. This boat was bought new by my parents in 1971. In the 80s, they painted it this white and blue scheme. But it originally was a very beautiful blue metal flake with a silver metal flake stripe. And we're going to restore it back to that, back to the day one look. What's the matter? You got spiders?
There's a lot of spiders. Spiders!
Hey, that's for official use only. That's for rescue.
I need rescue. There's a lot of spiders in here. Hi, Stan. Stan. Stan's never been on a boat. Well, I mean, he's been on a boat, but not one that was on the water.
So I think these are pretty cool looking boats. You know, Sidewinder was the original designer and maker of these, but they were copied by several other companies. It reminds me of like a James Bond boat with the wraparound windshield and all that.
Wasn't there one of these boats in a James Bond movie? Like in a Sidewinder?
There were several similar boats. I don't think he ever had a Sidewinder. Being British, he probably didn't realize the Sidewinder was the cooler one, so he went with the Glastron.
Hey, Ed, put down that dog and come take this box, please.
Ed has multiple dogs.
Now we have 2 dogs.
Want to open the engine hatch? Because that's all the people really care about anyway. So imagine you're a family man in 1971, you need a boat. You might as well get yourself an LS6 powered boat, solid lifter cam, etc. for family use. And then of course you might want to add some nitrous oxide later on in case you don't want to be passed on the water.
Yeah, what was top speed that you saw on this boat?
This boat did 81 on GPS. It only does 70 on the motor.
I feel like probably, what do you think, 84 is when you flip over?
No, I think it'll do 90, 92. Although there's not much of the boat in the water at 81. I have a picture of it. It just shows like the very back touching the water.
I would say we might need to do some structural repair to this boat before we go 90 in it.
Yeah, the wood and the floor is a little bit rotten, so we're going to replace all that.
I'm standing on the only solid part right now. Boats are a lot of work. They're worse than cars.
You know how people have like a one-owner vehicle and they're like, yeah, we bought this brand new. It's a barn find. That is not this boat. This boat was bought brand new, but it was used a lot.
Didn't it sink twice?
It sunk in 1973. My brother sunk it. Only the very tip of the boat was sticking out. And I can only imagine what that phone call was like to my dad to let him know that his boat was underwater. They wound up retrieving it, and both my brothers had to pay for the repair.
How old were they when they did that? In like their 20s?
Probably late teens, early 20s. So take a lesson here. Don't let your kids drive your equipment if you want to keep it nice. The windshield is cracked in this boat, but because I'm a visionary, I have a brand new NOS one planning for the day when the boat would be restored. And I don't know if you can still buy those windows, but they were Sidewinder. And I think other boats probably used them too. But the company that made them was called Midi Marine. I think they're in Washington and they're out of business now. So if anybody else is looking for a Sidewinder windshield, look up Midi Marine products in Washington if they're still around. The gauges have all been changed in this boat. Steering wheel's been changed too, but it had a metal flake steering wheel originally, blue. I have that. Put it back in.
And it had the like a blue line sun gauge or something. Was
they were Teleflex gauges with a little blue. Oh, there's one original one like that.
And we've been hunting them down. Have you got them all now, or are you still looking for one?
I have most of them. I have to go through what I have. That's the hour meter. It actually stopped working at like 600 hours or so. And so yeah, there's the next project. And by the way, I don't really need another project right now because I have like that project going on too, which is the big ramp truck restoration.
Oh yeah, we should probably do a whole video just on that. We also have
and I have a big Nova restoration going on concurrently because, you know, might as well take on more than one project.
We've got Brandon's car.
Brandon's Pontiac, just sitting there.
Ed's Coronet.
Oh yeah, Ed's Coronet, another project.
We've got Ed himself. Endless projects.
So yeah.
So what is our plan on this boat? Because basically it was just sitting and we weren't going to touch it. And then
I have the hookup right now for the fiberglass guy that can re-gel coat this boat back to the original metal flake with the this area here was a silver stripe. So we're going to do that. Yeah,
he's like he's a guy who worked for one of the big boat coating places in the 70s and he retired, right? Is that this, or in the 80s? And
well, I think he worked up until fairly recently. It was called Pat's Fiberglass.
So anyway, the guy, you know, he retired, but he's still doing kind of like private jobs. And so it seemed like if the guy's available, you get it done. Because otherwise you end up like we are with the Nova project right now, which is that we've been to 6 different paint shops and nobody has any time to take it on. So anyway, if you've got a paint shop in Southern California, you want to paint the Nova, give us a call.
Well, there you go. So we thought we'd give you the first overview of it, the before, if you will. And it'll be probably a year or two before it's back, but it should be a very beautiful blue metal flake with silver metal flake stripe. You be okay with that, Ilana?
Yeah, I'm absolutely ready to do some boating.
We'll bring you back for a project update, probably 1 year from now, but I know you guys are a patient bunch. All right, Sidewinder disassembly. So we thought it would be fun to try and start this engine before we take it out. And we have not tried yet. We don't know if it's going to crank. We don't know if it's going to have spark. We don't know if that carburetor is going to work. I did put a new battery in it, so it should crank. So Ilana, if you want to hold this, I'll pour some gas in that carb.
At least it's easy to get to now. Took everything else out.
It's quite handy, actually. I usually start all my engines on Coca-Cola.
Not a Pepsi man?
A good thing to do is to fill the float bowl with some gas.
Perfectly fresh gas.
Yep. That way we don't crank it forever. Most of it went in, right?
Some of it went in.
A little splash in there. Ed, you want to hold that can of gas?
I thought you were going to ask Ed if he needed a little splash.
All right, we're going to give it a try.
I'm going to hold the pump instead.
Throttle works. Good. go. Cold start, right?
So I was standing there and I'm like, oh cool, it's running, sounds good. Why is my leg getting so wet? And then I realized, oh right, yeah, boat.
Don't stand in front of the exhaust plug. All right, there you go. Now we're gonna take it out.
And maybe one day it will go back in and start again.